The extrude function found in the built-ins in the functions tab within the global folder helps you extrude any 2D primitive or a font. So let's begin with a 2D primitive, and we'll use a ring for this. We could use any 2D primitive, and the extrude will basically extrude that or make it a 3D primitive. So let's also drag a material on this so we'll be able to see it a little bit better. We're going to scale it up. Now, since it's a 2D primitive, when we rotate it, we do not see the back side of it. If we go back into our built-ins tab, our functions, and get the extrude function and drag it onto our ring container, now when we rotate this, we will see the back side of it, and it also created a 3D primitive out of this 2D primitive. So let's rotate this, and we'll go into the extrude function editor. First thing that we have here is the extrusion depth. So it's set to 10 by default. As I increase this, it will increase the extrusion depth. There's also a bevel size set to 0 by default. When we increase this, it increases the bevel size of the edge. Once you have the bevel size increased a little bit, you have the option over here for these 6 different beveled edges. So as we click through each one of these icons, it changes the bevel edge of this primitive. Now, depending which bevel edge you have, you also have the option for a bevel detail set to 2 by default. If we increase this or decrease this, it will change the detail of the bevel. There's also a shading angle set to 30 by default. If you decrease it, you can kind of see the difference there, or you can increase the shading angle of this variable as well. There's also a back face button, which is on by default, so we can turn this off, and when we rotate it around, we no longer see the back face of that primitive. The extrude also has the ability to change each face, so when we turn this color active on, we have 3 buttons here: front, back, and side. With the front active, I can come down here and choose a color for the front face of the bevel. I can come to the side and choose a color for the side, and I can do the same for the back. So if I have the back on, you'll want to make sure the back face is selected, and we can choose a color for that as well. When we rotate it around, we now have the back face set to that color. We also have an alpha, so if we want to decrease the alpha, we can change it to whatever side we want to decrease that alpha setting on, and then set the alpha to that particular variable. We can also do this to the side, so every face we can set the alpha setting as well. Within the color picker, we also have the HSV setting and the picker here that we can roam around on the screen and select our color if we wish.